Hey everybody, Brian Melvin here from Timber Life Outdoors. Hope you're having a fantastic summer. Today we're going to take a couple minutes and just go over some self-filming and or filming ideas, mounts, and gear that I've been using this last year. We posted a bunch of deer hunts and I got a whole bunch of questions and comments about what gear, what mounts, and ideas that I'm using in order to get those hunts on film. So again, I am by no means a professional. I'm learning every single day. I'm trying to soak up as much information as possible. From a year ago, I am way beyond where I was, but I'm still learning a lot. Maybe if I post some of these ideas, it helps somebody out, and hopefully maybe you guys have some ideas or tips or tricks that could help me out, and I would greatly appreciate that. Filming and self-filming is an art form, and it's also a grind. Once you start it, you'll see what I mean. It is an absolute commitment. When you're carrying that gear in and out of the woods on those days where it's unsuccessful, that's really where you set yourself apart. But please stick with it, because when it does come together, the memory of that hunt on film is absolutely priceless. Okay, so let's break down individual components. When you are getting ready to film or self-film, first thing you got to pick out is actually your camera gear, right? We're not going to dive into that today, but you got to pick out what kind of cameras you're going to be using, whether it's going to be mirrorless style cameras like DSLRs or camcorder styles, or just POV mounts like Action 5 cameras or GoPros or Tacticams, whatever. Doesn't matter. They're all great options. But those cameras, what you decide on, will determine what mounts you need around the tree. Me personally, I'm running 2 mirrorless cameras and then a series of POVs. So with a POV, obviously your mounts are much smaller. With a mirrorless setup and or large camcorder setup, you need some heavier duty mounts. That brings us into tree arms. There's a whole bunch of different sizes. There's a bunch of companies out there that make them. Personally, I am affiliated with 4th Arrow. Now, full transparency, I have bought all my 4th Arrow gear before I was associated with 4th Arrow. So I actually didn't get any real deals on any of my gear. But I will tell you, there's a reason I have all their gear. It is by far the best made in the industry. They also have an incredible catalog of options for all kinds of different mounts. So go check it out. So this arm is their triple arm, and I absolutely love it. It gives me some availability for movement and adjustment in the tree that a lot of arms don't give me. Now, there are some pros and cons to every single mount out there. The pros to this one is adjustability, flexibility. I can move all 3 pieces very, very easily. The one negative is just physics. Because it's a little longer, you have to be cognizant that you don't get a lot of bounce. It has nothing to do with the build quality, it's just physics. When you get farther away from something and you get leverage, you're going to get some bounce. The shorter arms will have less bounce, just the way it is. But if you check out their website, you'll see a ton of different options. The big thing here I want you to take away from is the location of this tree arm. Whether you're sitting, standing, self-filming, or filming someone else, you need to be cognizant of where this shoulder, where your mount point on the tree is, right? So you need to make it in a location that is easy enough that you can move this tree arm around your body. And I'm gonna jump up here and show you something. My normal setup for self-filming will be hopefully my shot on a 45-degree angle about away from where my tree stand's going to be. Therefore, I'm a righty, and this is going to be set up pretty much at my hip height when I'm standing. What that allows me to do is have availability on the camera for when I'm standing, and it's also not too tall or too short if I'm sitting. I can do both really well. If I'm self-filming, I actually sit a lot, so I need to have that flexibility. If I'm filming someone else, I'm probably going to be standing the entire time. So I might, if I know I'm going to be standing the entire time, I might bring this up, 4 or 5 inches just to bring the camera up to the perfect standing height. But, you figure that out on the run. Biggest thing being, you need to be able to move when that animal's coming in. Sometimes you're going to have to swing this inside your body. Sometimes you have to swing it on the back side of the tree. You'll have to do all kinds of different options, and you'll have to get used to it. But pick one that is, that matches your kind of hunting style and obviously the setups that you're going to be looking for. The big thing about the 4th Arrow that I love on all their tree arms is their shoulder mount. They have this 3.0 shoulder mount that makes getting this on the tree incredibly easy. It really makes it efficient. First thing in the morning, when you're getting in, you're trying to be quiet, you can have a bracket set up on the tree already and just click it in and get in there nice and silent. It's fantastic. So go check these out. Okay guys, so here's our second piece of equipment. Second angle, very important angle. I really love this angle. It allows you to get that perspective from behind the hunter and get you the emotion of all the movement and everything that goes into that last second before the shot. But in order to do that, you have to be able to get a camera pretty tight to the hunter's head. But it also has to be far enough away from the tree that you are not just shooting the back of their head, right? You need a perspective that you can get into their face a little bit, whether they're righty or lefty, it doesn't really matter. Because of needing that flexibility and needing that little bit of reach, I look for something like this. From 4th Arrow, they have the mini triple arm, which is a carbon copy of the triple arm, just smaller, but it also runs off the same shoulder mount, which is really, really nice. So a lot of the same accessories work. But it allows me a ton of flexibility and allows me to get far enough away from the tree that I can get that perfect shot of getting the hunter in frame and still getting that animal maybe blurry in the background, but showing movement and that real time footage that's going down that you know it's happening just the way I'm showing it to you. So there's other options out there. Again, the biggest thing being you need to have a mount that allows you to get above the hunter or right behind the hunter and far enough away from the tree that you're getting that full perspective. You're not just shooting the back of their head and their hand when they're drawing their bow, or even if they're shooting with a gun. You want to be able to have the right angle. Okay guys, third mount. This is the beginning of our POV mounts. And this is a really unique one from 4th Arrow. It's called the outreach arm. I love this mount because it gets you a really cool perspective angle back directly in the hunter's face almost. There may be other companies out there that offer something like this. I haven't found them. I also haven't looked because this one fits my need perfectly. It comes with a screw-in mount right on the tree, and then you just take this arm and it just clicks right into this mount really easily. It also telescopes, starts at like whatever this is, 2 feet, and goes all the way out to 6 feet. So you can change your angle. You can also adjust your pitch. So if you want it to be flat, do you want to be on a 45-degree angle? Do you want to run this above you and have it going over out in front of the hunter and have the camera angled down? A lot of different options. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. I've definitely tried it a whole bunch of different ways. My favorite way is exactly how I have it set up right here. About below the shooter's hip, up on almost a 45-degree angle, which kind of gets rid of the mount in your frame, and it allows you to get this perfect shot of the hunter drawing, and you can get this really cool perspective back at the hunter. So you have the second angle that's behind you over here, that's going to be behind, you know, showing the perspective of kind of almost not in front of the hunter's face, but if the hunter's righty, the right side of their face. This shows the left side of the face. You got your main camera on the animal, and you're kind of covering all perspectives. This mount is definitely one that you have to be cognizant of what kind of camera you use on the end of it, whether it's a GoPro or a Tacticam or something. You need to make sure that you're getting the right angle and the right framing, because I've screwed that up many times. So just be aware of that. Don't just put it on the end and kind of forget it. Take a couple recordings, either with a remote or whatever it is, take it off, check it, make sure your framing is good. My last hunt, which is the hunt called Shredder, if you check it out on the YouTube channel, you'll see that this arm is not set up enough away from the tree. It's a little too far flat, and my body gets hidden by the tree a little bit. So we got a whole bunch of bees going over here, so you see me flinch like a little baby, that's why. But the biggest thing being that this has to be out in front of the hunter enough that you can get their full body when they're drawn. Check out that hunt, you'll see what I mean. You'll see the mistake that I made and I learned from it. So take a look, outreach arm from 4th Arrow. All right guys, we're getting to the end here. I appreciate you sticking with us. So the last of it is the final POV mounts that I'll use, and there's a lot of different variables to them. The first one that I love, because I use it for not only deer hunting, I use it for waterfowl hunting, I use it for turkey hunting, gives you a lot of flexibility in where you can put a POV camera, is 4th Arrow's stake mount. This thing comes out to like whatever it is, 3 feet, 3.5 feet, and you can pretty much put it anywhere you want it. If you've bought them in the past, there was a problem with the tip where it used to pull out of the tube. 4th Arrow has fixed that. They now crimped it into the metal, and it's solid. Works really well. I use it all turkey season. If you check out some of our videos, you see some really cool POV camera angles that are tight to the turkeys on the decoys. And it was all because of this mount. So check this one out. Number 2 is a clamp style mount. 4th Arrow also has a version of this. This one is not. This is like an Amazon special. But it allows you to either clamp to a branch or clamp to a root on the ground and get some articulation in the head. I've used this a ton for turkey hunting and for deer hunting, actually, and a lot for waterfowl. If I'm in like flooded timber and I can't put a stake in the ground, but I have a tree that has a couple branches, I can clip this on it behind me, either focus back on the dog, or if we're deer hunting and I don't have, or if the ground's frozen and I can't use the stake, I can clip this low on a tree and get that perfect angle. So this gives you some great flexibility. Number 3 is your typical screw-in mount. Now, a lot of companies make these. This one specifically is not from 4th Arrow, but it is, I don't even know where this one's from, to be honest with you. But it's just a screw-in mount with a ball head on it, with a quarter mount that allows you to put a POV anywhere that you have any hard surface that you can screw into a tree. On my shredder hunt, you'll see where he walks right underneath a POV camera. It was because of this mount. I actually didn't have a branch on the tree that I wanted to put a POV, and I didn't want a POV below him when he was walking in, so I knew the trail that he was using. This allowed me to put it on the tree just above his head, and he literally walked right underneath the camera. It was a really cool perspective. This gives you some flexibility. Last but not least, I don't use this one a ton. I use it a little bit during predator season on some ice and some frozen ground. It's just a tripod mount, little mini tripod that you can kind of put down that you don't have to worry about if you're out in an opening and you don't have, it's frozen ground, you can't use a stake, you don't have a branch to screw into, you don't have a tree to clamp to or something like that. This just gives you a little bit of availability in those areas that are not very common, but they do show up. That's why I got all these in the pack. Whatever situation we're gonna be hit with, I need to be ready for it. So little tripod mount, 4th Arrow has one as well. They work fantastic, so check them out. Well guys, that kind of brings us to the end here. We've gone through a whole bunch of different mounts and how we use them here. And again, we're learning every day, trying to be more efficient, learn new tricks. If you have anything, any comments about what I said, or if you have a better way of doing it, I would love to hear about it. Enjoy the journey. Filming, self-filming is not easy. That's why a lot of people don't do it. So when you dig into it, understand you're gonna have a lot of unsuccessful hunts, and that's okay. You're gonna mess up, and that's how you learn. Just enjoy it, because it gets better, I promise you. Stick with it. The commitment is amazing. In the end, when you get some hunts and you get some successful footage of some great harvests, it is totally worth it. One thing I will say, if you're going to get into filming and be serious about it, and you really want to up your game, I urge you to look up Film the Hunt. Tom Petrie has a company, Film the Hunt, and his team have put together an incredible resource of information. They have an online school and they have in-person classes that will take you to the next level. They will take you from not knowing how to turn on a camera to pushing out some fantastic content. I have done the online school and I have attended one class in person. I'm going to be attending a whole bunch more, and I tell you, it is worth every penny and every minute that I spent with them. I've gotten more information than I could possibly imagine. So Film the Hunt, trust me, check it out. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you out there soon.